Trent Parke is one of the most innovative contemporary photographers and one of Australia's most renowned artists. He is known for his striking black and white, poetic and darkly humoured photography that captures the boundaries of the emotional and physical landscape of human existence. His work, therefore, offers an emotional and psychological portrait of his home country of Australia and has been described by curators as defined by a deeper engagement with the world around him, combining, quote, elements of photojournalism with an artistic sensibility that transforms everyday scenes into profound narratives. And if you ask me, through his images, Parke really reveals the raw and the poetic side of our shared human experience. And before we dive into another video, I just wanted to take 30 seconds of your time because I wanted to congratulate Sebastian Gatto on the release of his first book, The Orphan Angel. I took a very active role in helping Sebastian putting this book together, but the merit is all his. The photography is really good. It's black and white, experimental, reminds me of the style of Alexei Titarenko and Olga Karlovac, which are actually great references to Sebastian. So it'd mean the world to me if you could just check his work down below and just drop your support as well. And if you need help to books, projects, whatever that might be, just contact me down below, or of course check out the one-to-one sessions. Now, shameless plug aside, I know, I'm really sorry about that. Let's grab a drink, make yourself comfortable, and let's go straight to another video. Trent Parke grew up in a working-class suburb of Newcastle, Australia, where he was deeply influenced by its encapsulating, greedy and vibrant world. As a teenager, Parke picked up a camera, initially exploring photography as, quote, a means of documenting his environment. However, his love for the medium continued, which led him to study at the Sydney College of the Arts. However, it was through his early exposure to the work of other photographers like David Moore that Parke began to deepen his connection and understanding of photography as a potential storytelling tool. His career began as a press photojournalist, and he worked for the Australian newspaper, covering stories that ranged from natural disasters to everyday life in urban and rural Australia. Therefore, his work during this period was somewhat grounded in the strong documentary tradition, which was, of course, different in form from what his later work would look like. However, it is in this early work that we can recognize some of the characteristics that he would become known for: a keen sense of light and shadow, as well as the tendency to capture very intimate moments or to convey a strong sense of intimacy when documenting the everyday experience. In 1999, Parke completed the first of his personal projects titled Dream/Life, which is a project that blends reality with dream, capturing the surreal and abstract moments that evoke a sense of introspection. This project therefore marked a turning point in his career, solidifying his reputation as a photographer who could transform personal narratives into universal visual poetry. However, I would consider Parke's creative breakthrough to be actually achieved through a project called the Seventh Wave, which revolves around the Australian coastline. And Parke, alongside his partner photographer Narelle Odio, began working on the Seventh Wave in the summer of 1999. Primarily motivated by the fact that had been one of Australia's worst summers for drownings. Their black and white photos, quote, capture the energy and power of the ocean, which can be dark and menacing at one moment, but tranquil and luminous the next. This series marked a clear departure from his and Otio's photojournalistic visual tradition in order to pursue and embrace a more personal and introspective approach to photography. When looking at these photos, I find in them an almost cinematic quality, the ability to reunite in the same frame what is haunting and beautiful. Equally cinematic is also this ability to draw a complex and nuanced portrayal of a subject through a poetic and lyrical visual language filled with stark contrasts between light and shadow, land and sea, the surface and the abyss. This work, therefore, marked a turn in both photographers' careers, and in Parke's case, it highlighted a deep connection to the environment and nature, whilst also conveying a sense of fragility, vulnerability, and isolation of man. And in my eyes, I would describe Parke's work through this single sentence. In the vastness of the natural world resides the intimacy of human experience. The ocean is both a great healer and destroyer, Parke commented about the series, adding then, quote, "It's this beautiful, majestic thing that we all have a relationship with, yet at the same time, it's a force that can overwhelm us." And I would argue that whilst many people say that the Seventh Wave was really the project that catapulted Parke to being so well known and to being really celebrated as a photographer, I would say that this recognition happened in two different ways. It happened, of course, from an exterior perspective of other people, other agencies, etc. But it also happened from an interior perspective in which there was, of course, a solidification, if you will, of the style that he would pursue, and that is a sort of contrasted black and white style with deep shadows and a great use of light. And this style was a style that brought to the table a sense of drama and mystery that added layers of interest and power to his photography. Light in Trent Parke's work provides therefore an aesthetic and deep emotional undertone. And it's in the interplay of light and shadow that, in my eyes, the photographer is able to mirror the inner turmoil or the emotion we associate with landscapes and other elements of the world. Following the Seventh Wave, Parke continued producing great work that delved deeper into simultaneously personal and universal themes and experiences. His next major project would be titled Minutes to Midnight, and it essentially is an exploration of the passage of time, memory, highlighting again this tension, if you will, between light and darkness. Traveling 90,000 kilometers across Australia with his partner Narelle Otio, Parke produced a body of work that, unlike other projects, was filled with what we can call symbolic imagery. For instance, figures in surreal landscapes, atmospheric shots that touch on ideas of solitude, change, loss, alongside the inclusion of, I would say, haunting portraits. When talking about it, he stated that Minutes to Midnight revolves around, quote, "the passing of time, the fleeting nature of everything around us, and the uncertainty that comes with it," which ties in with Magnum's description of this work as, quote, "both a document of a changing nation uneasy with its identity and its place in the world, and the work of fiction which, when combined, suggests the build-up, aftermath, and rebirth of an apocalyptic world." And in my opinion, the power of this cinematic, almost haunting quality of his images, it's almost like because of the duality of the meaning of this visual contrast of light and shadow. It's visual, but also it's in a way psychological, from the idea of light and darkness and the sort of pole opposites of our world. And this, of course, is amplified by the way that the contrast is presented to us, this kind of high contrast, which of course enhances the emotional response that we as audience have towards it. Which links to an interesting trademark of Trent Parke's style, and that is his dedication to working with film. For him, the tactile nature of film offers a greater sense of control and connection with the image-making process. And on this, the photographer stated that, quote, film has a kind of soul to it that forces you to think more carefully about each shot. There's a weight to it, a certain slowness that I like. This, of course, links with his approach to photography, which involves taking time to observe the world with a more careful and considerate eye. It's my opinion, as well, that Parke's photos depict something beyond reality. They are deeply evocative images that have this incredible ability of communicating something very broad, but at the same time very personal and intimate. His work illustrates, therefore, this complexity and the multiplicity of human experience, meaning that it can be simultaneously so personal yet a shared experience. Because we all feel and see similar things but never really evaluate and consider it to be exactly the same. In his images, there is at times a sense of distance. Subjects are often isolated from the viewer, as if caught in a private moment that they're not fully aware of, and this sense of distance, together with the dreamlike quality of his compositions, gives his work a cinematic quality that knows no boundaries in terms of space and time, almost as if having a timeless quality, which therefore immerses the viewer in a quiet scene that unfolds silently and without a probable explanation. Whether he is photographing a solitary figure or a fleeting moment between people taking place in the vast Australian landscape, one cannot help but feel a resonance with what one sees, since it touches on ideas and themes part of our shared experience as human beings: loss, memory, feeling, or even perceiving the passage of time. And what I most appreciate about his photography is his continuous exploration of this medium as a storytelling tool, pushing boundaries and finding new ways of communicating through ideas and a language that is purely visual. His work, I believe, challenges us all, viewers and creatives, to look beyond the surface, to dive into the complexity of our world, and I would say to reflect ultimately on the meaning of the things that we often take for granted in reality. So thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me that I'm able to do, videos like this on YouTube, that every week I get to explore something different. I get to learn something new. And so I'd like to thank you so much for supporting, for watching. A big, big thank you to all members of the channel. If you want to join, you can join so down below. There's exclusive videos there as well. And if you like videos, other types of videos, for instance, like on filmmaking, you can check out my second channel. I've began this year, I think in January, dropping videos there about different films and film directors. So you're more than welcome to, check it out. And I guess that it's all for today. Thank you so much for everything, for watching, for commenting, for reaching out, etc. Sometimes it's really hard to get back to everyone. So I apologize for that. But yeah, I guess that it's all for today. Take care, stay safe, keep shooting, keep learning photography, and I'm out.
Well, I hear that train come, it's rolling round the bend. I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. I hear